plunge deeper into the darkness.
Hey, what's up guys, Unification here, and today I'm with the Nobodies, Cage, Sora, Naruto, oh no, your SpiritBlade now, and Door to Darkness.
Hey everybody, what's going on? SpiritBlade, and yeah, it's good to be here. New name, I know, it's going to be hard to get used to, but yeah, it's good to be back for a new episode. It's been ages, and yeah, Door to Darkness, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, hello everyone, it's Door to Darkness, and yeah, I like talking about Kingdom Hearts, so yeah, let's do that.
Alright,
Okay.
so that's what we're here to do. So today we're going to be talking about possible worlds in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a pretty popular topic, and I don't think we've really talked about it much as a group, so...
Yeah. Okay, so which one of you guys want to go first?
I guess I'll go first. So,
Okay.
one world I really wanted to see in Kingdom Hearts 3 that like was kind of shown to be in other games, but was never really implemented. Like there was the code of it was in Birth by Sleep is Jungle Book.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. Like so I think like every Kingdom Hearts game pretty much has a jungle world, and Jungle Book is kind of like the odd movie out that doesn't have a jungle world yet but was supposed to. So yeah, I think that would be a really good world for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah.
big possibility because I do believe it was actually going to be in Kingdom Hearts 1 as well. I'm not sure 100% sure on that, but I think they cut it out because of Tarzan. And then I remember E3 2013 and more actually said in an interview that in every game they consider Jungle Book and then it always gets cut out. So I think it's a big possibility that we will see it. And then also Haley Joel Osment did actually voice Mowgli. I doubt he will do it this time because he's kind of a kid and his voice is like really deep now. But yeah, that's just another reason why it could appear. So yeah.
Yeah, I think they might have been saving it for a time when they could like get it looking as they wanted it to or something.
Yeah.
So now that they've got the PS4 and Xbox One's power, they might be able to do the world justice that they might not have been able to before.
Yeah, probably that's true, yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
So you'll kind of want to like go in a circle and like we each give like a world and like then like we go to someone
Okay,
else.
yeah. So do you want to go next, Door to Darkness?
Yeah, I think one world that I've thought about is The Emperor's New Groove, which was one of my like favorite Disney films when I was younger. And I always kind of think about the boss fight of that world and the villain of it, Yzma. She has all these potions that turns her into different animals.
Yeah.
So I think that might be like an interesting fight at the end of the world where she's kind of changing into loads of different things while you're fighting her. And then, yeah, I think it just... because I like bosses when they do it a bit differently, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'd love to see. I've watched it once or twice. I haven't seen it that many times, but I did really like the movie, and there's a lot of environments they could actually use from The Emperor's New Groove that would look great in the Kingdom shader. And yeah, like you said about the... I'd love to see, do you know the roller coaster they have in it, where they go down to Yzma's lair or something?
Yeah.
That would look cool. Like maybe Sora or Donald or Goofy went on that or something.
Yeah, maybe that could be like one of the attraction flow type segments like we saw with the
Yeah,
train.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if she's riding on the roller coaster thing and then you use your attraction flow to bring in another roller coaster.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Alright.
Yes. Oh. Will I go next?
Yeah.
Okay, well, is it New Worlds or Returning Worlds? In the
I
angle?
guess New Worlds, but if you want to bring up a returning world that you have an idea for, I guess that's good too.
Well, one world I know a lot of people wouldn't agree because a lot of people didn't like it, but I want to see Port Royal return in Kingdom Hearts 3 because the story of the Dead Man's Chest, it would just fit so well. Because we have the whole thing of like the heart of Davy Jones, the key to open the thing. So maybe Jack Sparrow will like tell Sora, hey, I need the key, but can't you unlock the chest with your keyblade? Since it can unlock every lock, and maybe Sora will go and do that or something. And there might be like a big conflict and all with Davy Jones. I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I kind of agree. The thing with Port Royal though is like the kind of realisticness of it. I wasn't a huge fan of the more realistic worlds in Kingdom Hearts 2, but it kind of worked because like the graphics weren't that great anyway, so
Yeah.
the real characters kind of look cartoonish. But on next gen, I feel like it might be hard if they don't do it like perfect to mix like the real characters with the like the Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy and Disney characters and
Yeah.
still kind of look good. like by today's graphic standards. So if they do any real worlds like that, like with live action, then I hope they do it right and figure out an art style that works without
Yeah.
looking too weird.
Yeah, that's actually
Yeah.
true. Door to Darkness, do you have anything to say on Port Royal and Kingdom Hearts 3?
I like Dead Man's Chest as well. I think that you could also get to fight the Kraken,
Oh,
and
that'd
maybe
be cool.
even like pilot the like drive the ship or something a bit even.
That needs to happen.
Um,
Imagine ship battles like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or even
And
like
then you have
the Sly games, like running across the ship and like like with the reaction
Oh, yeah, I
commands
like that
on,
one.
like in Kingdom Hearts 2, you like in certain segments you could use reaction commands to fire the cannon, maybe
Yeah.
something like that, like and maybe like someone piloting it at the same time, or
Yeah,
or that would be a cool idea for like a co-op part if they do have
Yeah.
co-op. Like people have been suggesting like one person drives and one person shoots the cannons and fights the Heartless.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Okay, so Unification, your next world.
All right. So, something that I kind of wanted to see, but wouldn't necessarily work very well, considering how there's a character from it that already has a backstory in the Kingdom Hearts universe, is the Black Cauldron, which or no, not the Black Cauldron, the Sword in the Stone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, the Black Cauldron would be a good idea for World 2, but the Sword in the Stone, is like. The reason I said that it might not work is because of Merlin. Merlin already has kind of a role, and like it's kind of considered that Radiant Garden is his homeworld, kind of. So unless they kind of use some clever story work and kind of work it in a special way, then Sword in the Stone might not work because of Merlin's past. However, I think it would be a decent world for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I think it would have worked in Dream Drop Distance because remember they
Yeah,
had
it
the
definitely
whole
would have worked in
characters
Dream Drop
know,
Distance.
Yeah,
That would have been the perfect opportunity for it.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able. It would be funny to see how they go about doing that, but Dream Drop Distance was probably their only chance to do it like right, like
Yeah.
that makes sense. So Door to Darkness, what do you think about the Sword and the Stone in Kingdom Hearts 3?
Is he there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, so while we're waiting for him to find out where he went, you want to say your next world?
Next world, Toy Story.
Yes. Any Pixar world, in my opinion.
Yeah, they need to put Pixar worlds in because Toy Story would make a great world. And when I was thinking about it, a lot of people said, "Oh, we could have Sora in Andy's room." But when I think about a Toy Story world in Kingdom Hearts 3, I kind of think about. Remember the start of 3 where they had like the Old West type of thing where the characters were actually
Yeah.
like real. That's what I
Yeah.
kind of think about. So
Yeah, like having them be in like that kind of Western setting, like kind
yeah,
of
that'd be cool.
being like in Andy's kind of imagination.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. But that would be kind of interesting how they kind of figure that out, because maybe like when they go to worlds, like kind of with the lore of Toy Story mixed with Kingdom Hearts, it would be kind of weird for them to go into the imagination of someone in a way. If that makes any sense. Like they kind of just visit the worlds. So I mean, that would be a really cool idea, but they might just need to kind of rework the way the story of Toy Story is kind of set up in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, and it'd also be cool to see Sora as a play arts figure as well in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god, yeah, have Sora. That would be really cool. Have Sora like be like plastic looking and have like plastic joints and stuff. That would be cool.
And Toy Heartless and stuff would be cool to see. Like remember
That
in
would be
Hollow
really
Hotel?
awesome. I didn't really think of that. I've just been thinking, oh well, Sora's just gonna be himself with the toys. No, that's a really good idea, having him as like an action figure with like a bunch of toys as the Heartless. Yeah.
So is Door to Darkness back yet, or?
He said it's not picking up his voice, so I guess you want to just type in chat and let us know when it's back up, and I'll say my next world. So I feel like I should hit like 3 movies in one, because these are the 3 movies that everyone always talks about, and it's just like each of these can make up their own video, so I'm just gonna knock them out. Frozen, Big Hero 6, and Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah. Those worlds are so talked about.
Yeah, those are the most talked about worlds because they're new and relevant, and they're also really good. So, Wreck-It Ralph, people have like talked about how it might not work, how they might not have like the rights to use it because of all the like the copyright stuff involving
I don't think that'd
other
be
characters.
a problem because
Yeah, I
it,
think
like-
I think there was something with like the licensing though, where like something with you can't use any Wreck-It Ralph media with whatever like agreement they had or something like that. But if that's not the
Alrighty.
case, then they could definitely make a Wreck-It Ralph world with just the original characters.
well, they did plan on putting it in the mobile game, so that kind of shows us a chance.
That does show. And the same thing with Frozen.
Oh, that's going to
Frozen,
be in there.
that is definitely going to be in Kingdom Hearts 3, I feel. Because they've kind of made claims of it, like they said, like in response to Big Hero 6 and Frozen being in the game, like and Wreck-It Ralph 2, I guess, they've said that any Disney property is open to them.
Yeah, and that I think Big Hero 6 would be the best way to kind of bring in Marvel in a sort of way, because the other way it's based on a Marvel comic, so I think Big Hero 6 would kind of be the best way to kind of bring in Marvel, and then in the next saga, like bring in the proper Marvel characters. So yeah.
Yeah, so the thing with Frozen and Big Hero 6, they could also be just really good worlds. So the thing with Big Hero 6, that there are so many ways, like in the movie it feels like they almost like set up for what could be a game in some of them. Like Frozen 2, like every Disney movie like practically sets itself up for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah,
I don't know,
pretty
like
much, with
like
the
when like
teams.
when I've gotten to the point where I watch a movie, like a Disney movie, and I think, oh my god, that would be perfect for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I think every Kingdom Hearts fan at this stage
Yeah,
just think about Kingdom Hearts in the background.
yeah, and like I have so many visions of like how things could look in Kingdom Hearts, and it's just I feel like I'm overhyping myself, but it's really.
Hello?
Oh, Door Darkness
Oh,
is
he's
back.
back. Okay.
So while we're still on the
Stop work.
subject, while we've drawn this out so much, you want to comment on Big Hero 6 Wreck-It Ralph for Frozen?
Yeah, I think that all of them could work. Frozen, I think, is pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
I think, like people have come out and talked about it, and it's pretty much going to happen. With Big Hero 6, again, that was one where I kind of watched it and thought how good it could be
I haven't seen it yet, so.
for Kingdom Hearts 3. I won't give any spoilers then. But yeah, like the like bad guy in it, I think could be a good boss with the way that he fights and all that kind of stuff. And with Wreck-It Ralph, it could either be like a mini game world.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like when I watched Wreck-It Ralph,
Yeah.
like I was like the way it was set up with like the racing and stuff. I thought, oh, this could be another Tron world. Like maybe
Yeah, take over the 100-acre wood.
yeah, kind of like they get sucked into the arcade machine or something, because there's a lot of things like that kind of reminded me of Tron in a way, and like how the light cycles worked in the Tron worlds, and the way they kind of set up the racing and certain things in Wreck-It Ralph.
So yeah, will I
Yes.
go ahead and say my final world?
Yeah, and then we could let Door Darkness say his next two or next one or however many he missed.
Yeah, I think it's 2. But another world I'd like to see. Let me think about that. A Studio Ghibli world.
That might be interesting. Like that might seem. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that because those worlds
I've
they
never seen
have a very unique style to them.
Yeah, I'd
like-
love to see Spirited Away.
Yeah, Spirited Away would be good.
And
But-
what I had like in mind was Sora in his like manga form, the way Shiro Omano like draws him.
That would be
Looking like
interesting.
that.
That would be
I'd
really
love-
interesting. Yeah.
I've always thought about that, and I think it'd be cool. And like they'd make the world kind of cell shaded to match like an anime style world,
Yeah.
and I just think it'd look amazing, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Like-
always thought like it wouldn't really work as well because of the style of it. It's not really like any other Disney movies because it's.
Yeah.
I mean, is it made with Disney or just produced by them? I wasn't.
I think it's just produced by them.
Yeah, because it's a different style. So, I mean, I guess that's down to also if. I mean, Disney has the rights, so if any Disney property is. Square said they could use, so that's definitely a possibility. Anything is a possibility at this point, really. But yeah, that would be interesting with the style of Kingdom Hearts. It wouldn't really be like any other world, but I think that would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could work, but yeah, I haven't seen any of the films, so I don't know whether the stories or anything. But yeah, I like the idea that you have a world that's kind of animated a bit differently, kind of like a replacement for how Timeless River worked, and that looked different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
That was probably the best example of how they changed Sora completely. Like, they completely changed his model entirely. Like, Halloween Town, they just changed, like, his costume. They still pretty much kept how he looked generally the same. But Timeless River, they pretty much completely overhauled his player model. So
yeah, go Door to Darkness. Go ahead and say your final 2 worlds.
One that I think a lot of people kind of think about, but it's another one where they need to kind of get it right, otherwise it would be weird, which is Treasure Planet.
Oh yeah,
Treasure Planet. That is one world that, like, it seems like besides the 3 more recent Disney movies that everyone talks about, Treasure Planet is probably the most talked about Disney world to be in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
I actually have a video coming up about Treasure Planet in Kingdom Hearts 3 where I'm going to be talking about it with Alienator 11, so look forward to that one. I'm going to be talking about it soon and go into like a lot of detail about Treasure Planet, so yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just have a cool idea of, like, traveling between, like, different planets and just, like, kind of the more adventurous story of it. But,
yeah, and that could work kind of similar to Port Royal as well.
Yeah,
where you've got, like, the different areas, but instead of, like, you get different planets, and then you can just travel between them on the ship.
Yeah, what would also be cool is kind of have it, like, kind of more kind of integrated into the gummy menu, like, have them be, like, traveling through the different worlds, and then they kind of come across it in the way that, like, the different planets are set up, I guess.
But I think it's a world where Sora could actually use his Keyblade glider, and like Jim Hawkins would be able to teach Sora how to use it by, like, because he has a Solar Surfer, so I think that'd be cool.
That would be really cool, yeah.
That's a good point.
Assuming he might get Keyblade glider, which would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think he'll get one, but I think like the gummy ship is going to be like the main mode of transport.
Yeah, that's gonna be the main mode for transport, but I think maybe in the final battle or throughout different parts of the story, like you said, then if he does get the Keyblade glider, then that would be a good opportunity for it.
Okay, so the final world.
Well, this is a film that I only saw like a few days ago. Pocahontas, I think, is kind of like the only like film of that era that hasn't been put into Kingdom Hearts yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I'll say that.
Yeah, it just seems like that era is kind of like the 90s is kind of the time where a lot of worlds have come from.
Yeah.
And there's I can't think of specifically how it would work, but yeah, it just seems like that's a era that Square like to use for Kingdom Hearts.
The classics. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it, is it?
Yep. And now I'm just gonna like summarize some like honorable mentions that we didn't really get to. Black Cauldron. Another Lilo and Stitch world, maybe in a different style. I just had one in my head, but I forgot. Maybe like overhaul Little Mermaid, finally give it justice and like how it's designed.
If they ever.
I think we want another singing mode.
Oh my god, if they actually make Frozen,
Tayasu,
if he said that he would like to make Frozen a singing world, if he does, I will no. Just no.
I think, to be honest, I think somewhere we're going to see a singing world because both Tetsuya Nomura and Tayasu are obsessed with singing because originally Tetsuya Nomura wanted to make Final Fantasy 15 a musical. And I was like, what the hell?
Really? Oh my god.
He wanted to change it like halfway through development to a musical because he saw that movie Les Miserables, or I don't know what the hell it's called.
Les Miserables.
Yeah, pretty much. And he wanted to make that a musical. And then we have Tayasu, the co-director who loves musicals. So yeah, I think we're going to see Sora sing one more time.
Oh boy.
To be honest, I'm the one person who doesn't mind that in Kingdom Hearts 2, but I don't really want it to happen again, though.
I didn't mind it, but it was too distracting from the normal game. It was just too much of a diversity. Like, people playing Kingdom Hearts want to play Kingdom Hearts. It wasn't necessarily a bad world, but mixed with Kingdom Hearts, it was just kind of in an odd place.
Yeah. And
then they always get their dodgy game modes.
I mean, I never really minded Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh to me is kind of slow and more boring, but it still keeps the basic gameplay of Kingdom Hearts in a lot of aspects of it.
I think I'm the only one who actually loves the Winnie the Pooh world. I think it's just like a change of pace and just like go there to like get a break or something.
Yeah, it's a change of pace, but I feel like I need to do them like all at once because I like the thing with me is like when I'm playing Kingdom Hearts, I want to play Kingdom Hearts, and the Winnie the Pooh world kind of and the Little Mermaid world does distract from that, and I think that's why so many people dislike them because it kind of distracts from the normal gameplay and the normal pace of the game.
Disney Town was
Disney
pretty
Town
good.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Disney Town was
I
good.
didn't like that actually.
Disney Town
The
was
race-
probably the best of all the minigame worlds though, because the
That's my
minigames in
least
that were
favorite.
actually decent.
Yeah, I love the racing.
Yeah, and it was actually like decent amount to explore in it too.
Mm.
Like Winnie the Pooh, each area is pretty much just one area. Disney World was pretty much just a normally designed world, and it still had enemies in it and everything, and it had some cool areas, and it still had like a lot of collectibles and whatnot. But it was still a minigame world regardless, but it was still pretty much structured as a normal world at the same time.
Mm.
I think that's like the best way. Like if they do include a musical world, make it a normal world too. Like make it like kind of like music segments and like make it separate, but still like have their stuff to be to explore and enemies to fight
Yeah.
and stuff.
I remember like
Sing
being
Let
so
It Go,
confused.
then fight a boss.
Yeah. Let it
I
go while
remember-
fighting a boss.
I remember being so confused when I first played Atlantic and Kingdom Hearts 2. I was expecting to be able to go everywhere, and I was like, wait, what the hell is this?
Yeah. And I mean, you could go to like Triton's palace, but it's like that's it.
Yeah. Which is kind of pointless.
And I think that's about it. Besides that, like Pixar worlds are a big yes for me. Like I wouldn't mind having 2 or 3 Pixar worlds because there's so many good options for them. Toy Story is definitely on
Incredibles.
top though. The
The
Incredibles would
Incredibles.
be good. I don't know. Like some people say they don't want cars, but I think it would be interesting.
It would
Like,
be strange.
It would be very strange, but they have kind of worked like different weird things into the game before. Like I don't think anyone saw Sora being a lion coming. Like that was for me that was like insane when I first saw it.
Sora being a car.
Sora being a car. That would like I feel like that would be like their last huge like this is how crazy we can get with this game kind of thing. Like I think it would be cool just showing off like what they could do. Maybe just like racing wall. Like just the idea of being able to drive wall.
running heartless over.
It would pretty much like the only reason that I wouldn't see it in the game is because they would have to change the entire like feel of the world, or centered around driving, and I don't know how good Square Enix can make a driving game. And that would kind of feel weird with like
Cuts.
stopping to like use the Keyblade and whatnot, but I think it could still be done well.
But maybe like it could work the way racing worked in Disney Town, like Sora gets his Keyblade glider and he just joins the races or something.
Yeah, but even still, like if you became a car and he was just like moving around, they would need to make it feel like you were using a car, unless they wanted to make the animations a little weird. Because I mean, I could picture them kind of making it like a certain way of moving so that it still feels like walking. Because the cars in cars, they still kind of move a little differently from normal cars. Like that's just kind of like the way the cartoon worked. So yeah. Besides that, Wall-E, I don't know how they would work that, but that would be interesting.
Monsters Inc. as well.
Monsters Inc. is a big one, yeah. Maybe going around the different doors, exploring that way.
Yeah, that's cool.
Other than that, I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's really it.
Anything else
Yeah.
you guys want to say to wrap up?
Not really. No, I think we covered everything we needed to cover. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we're
All
going
right.
on 27 minutes now. So
Yeah. Oh my God, really?
yeah.
Well, okay then. Alright, so thank you all for watching, and check out their channels, all of our channels. I'm Unification, SpiritBlade,
Okay.
and Cage Sword of Darkness.
Right.
Goodbye.
See you later, guys.
Can you spare a heart?